Hey everybody, this is Neil here. Welcome to the next lesson in Copy Crash course. In this lesson, we're going to talk about positioning. Okay. In the previous videos, we already talked about identifying your unique selling position, what's going to help you stand out, what's up, and so forth. But what you want to do now is you want to figure out how are you going to position your entire offer, right? And there's several ways you can go about doing that, and let's go ahead and get into it, right? So the definition I prefer for positioning is also defined as the way by which the marketers attempt to create a distinct impression in the customer's mind, right? So when the customer's read through your entire copy, you want them to walk away with an impression, right? And you can create what that impression is depending on the way you position your offer, what you say in your words, and how you speak to the customer, how you connect with the customer, okay? Or the prospect. So some ways to position your offer, okay? Expertise. You can position yourself as the expert or the authority, some people want to go to the top dog brand because they know it's trusted and proven and effective and so forth. So if you position yourself, and there's ways to do that in your words, like I'm saying. Have you ever seen copy that says the number one way to do this, right? That's them. Who said they're number one? Did they go out and get a badge somewhere? No, they just said the number one way to do this is XYZ, and they're positioning themselves as the top dog by simply saying it, right? A lot of times in copy and sales copy, if you the way you want to position yourself, you need to say that, and that will position in the eyes of the customer, right? There are other things as well. For example, if your product is being recommended to the customer by another expert, that can easily position you as an expert where you may not have to drive it home as much. I mean, affiliates or other people have already played you up as an expert, right? Um, if your customer doesn't know you from Adam, you're going to need to establish that authority further, and there's ways to do that. We've been in the industry this long, we have this many sales, we have this many proven happy customers, all these types of things can position you as a dominant authority, right? Another way to do it is with price, the most affordable solution around, uh, don't break the bank, that kind of thing, or, best bang for your buck, that's a position, right? And those are all positions you can take in the marketplace. And that's the key to focus on, what's the best position for me in this marketplace. And you have to look at what you have, what you're offering, what your skill set is, how you match up against those competitors, or what your product's, features set is, or whatever, and where you can position yourself. If you have an average product, you can't go in there and try to be the top high ticket person. You need to be down more with the average people, and then you need to figure out, or the average whatever competitors, and then you need to figure out how you can beat those competitors out, right? So maybe you can't beat them on price, but you can beat them on quality. You can beat them on customer service. You can beat them on efficiency, how quickly your product can accomplish the goal. Your guarantee, because your guarantee just over the top and better than other people's, right? So you need to position yourself against your competition to stand out, right? So those are just a few of the ways that you can do that when it comes to positioning yourself sort of against the competition, okay? Now, and positioning yourself again, with the customer and how you fit with the customer. And this depends on if you're a brand, if this is a physical product, it's different than if it's an information product, a coaching, a service, so forth, right? There's ways that you can position yourself that will make people want to learn from you, make people want to work with you, make people want to buy your service, make people want to tell other people about your services, and what you have to offer, right? Okay, so the best way to position your offer is through the use of storytelling. We've seen this done in marketing for many, many, many years, okay? You see it on a webinar, you see it on a sales letter, you see it in commercials. It's becoming wildly popular in commercials nowadays where it's like, here's the story of, Bob and Mary and how they got their new Ford, and we interviewed them while they were getting their new Ford, and look how happy they are, right? That's positioning, right? They're positioning their Ford as something that makes these people happy and as a solution to their problem, which is that they're unhappy with their other vehicle or their payments or their APR or whatever, right? And they're all doing it all through they don't say anything, they simply tell a story visually, and they let that story do the talking, okay? Um, Common story positioning that you might see. I'm just like you, or we're just like you. We have your back. We're on your side, right? Us versus them, Uh, don't go and buy your stuff from those big corporate companies that are just, shipping the jobs overseas. Work with us. We're local or homegrown. We're organic. We're whatever the case is, right? Us versus them, us versus the guru. I'm just like you. I've been there too, or we know what it's like. All those types of things are positioning, right? Position. I'm the expert. Hey, I've went through all this trouble, and I went and I tested, and I tried 50 million different variations of my product, and I have the best one possible, and you're never going to find anything better, and that's why it's worth this much, right? And that's okay. People want to learn from an expert. They want to look up to an expert. They want to buy something from somebody who they view as an expert in the industry that they're in, right? There's the rag to riches story, which I don't ever super recommend. I turned it over and the next day I was rich, or I lost 30 pounds in overnight, and now I'm getting all the ladies and everything, right? No, those are cheesier types of positioning. True stories are always going to come out. There's nothing sounds more true than the truth, right? So if you can really show the true story of how the brand grew to create such an awesome product, or the things that you really went through that really do make you like that person, right? If it's cheesy, if it comes across as hey, we use this product and insto presto magic got the result, and people tend to be skeptical about those types of things, right? The hero, people like to get behind a hero. If you notice, a lot of brands do this. They create a cause that they're all about, right? They're all about a cause, and they're trying to help this major cause, but really they're making money, and that's just the way it works, right? So the hero, they want to follow you. They want to see you reach your success in whatever it is, right? So if you can, build that into your copy as well. And then there's the lucky discovery. There's I was in a bar, and a guy dropped a DVD, and sure as crap, it had all the information about how to make money with real estate, and now I'm rich, right? Again, those are if you didn't really have a lucky discovery, or if the brand wasn't made out of an accident, then you don't want to tell that story. But those types of stories really resonate with customers. That the more you can build an intriguing story that leads up to whatever it is you're offering, the better off you're going to be. Okay. And that's really the way I like to do it. An easy way to think about positioning is the angle that you're going to take, right? You have to take an angle that's going to appeal to the customer. You have to position yourself in a way that the customer is going to want to work with you, or want to take action, or and so forth, right? So the angle is sort of more defined version of the problem of a problem, right? So if the big problem is I want to lose weight. Well, the angle is, here's a method that's going to help you lose weight without even getting up out of your chair every day, and that's the angle, right? And you're appealing to the lazy person, okay? So whatever it is. So you want to kind of flesh out that angle, what that is for you, and then you want to, make sure that you take that angle and you stay with it throughout your marketing, okay? Some tips for successful positioning. Use positioning, use the positioning that will most resonate with your target market, okay? You have to figure out how, and this is why I like to predetermine how your customer views you or your brand, because then you can choose how to position yourself in a way that's going to most resonate with them, right? So like I said, if you're selling how-to guides for golf, and they're aware there's a lot of different how-to guides, and you're not really an expert, maybe a way to position yourself is, hey, I'm just an average guy like you, and look what I was able to accomplish, okay? And maybe that'll resonate with somebody versus, they don't want to learn from, or they don't want to buy the course from this guy who's, of course he's good at golf because he's 6'5", swings like a giant, whatever the case is, right? So those are, the different angles you might want to think about, okay? Use different positioning than your competitors. Zig when other people are zagging, man. That's something that I will always recommend. You want to do something different, okay? If everybody and their mom is charging high prices, maybe you drop it way down and you offer a free trial, and then everybody's like, "Oh, free trial for this thing I'm used to paying for," right? That's great positioning, okay? Do something different than your competitors. Stand out a little bit. Be different. Leverage your positioning to connect with your prospects on a personal level, right? The way brands do this, because they can't necessarily connect on a personal level, they get actors and they put them in a video, and then they have them acting out, you know, things that the customer's going through, right? And that's their way of connecting it. If you're selling an individual product or service that your name and your person is behind, then use your story, your positioning to connect with them. You know, want to work with a small business that is a small business and knows how a small business runs, because we're just like you, and we can help you because we understand your problems, because we have you know, we've gone through them ourselves. Okay, those are just some examples. Be consistent with your positioning throughout your marketing. Okay, you don't want to position yourself as like, I'm just like you, and then later on down the line in your email or in your back end funnel, you know, you try to suddenly position yourself as an expert when you originally said that you weren't, or whatever the case is, right? So those types of inconsistencies with your customers will cause you to lose customers. Okay. Make sure your product or service reflects the positioning as well. This should seem pretty obvious, but don't just up and say we have the best customer service in the world if you don't, because then you're going to lose customers, like I said, and it's going to have a negative effect on your brand over time, ultimately affecting your sales. Okay, so those are just some of the main things to keep in mind when you're thinking about your positioning. You know what your position is. That's the key. Okay, remember the key is to whatever your positioning and story is. Once you define it, it must lead the customer to taking action on your offer. Okay, you want them, and you want to, like I said, if you want to position it, so if you know they're looking for cheaper solutions and you are the cheaper solution, then that's going to work, right? If you know they're looking for cheaper solutions and you try to position yourself as a high quality, high priced, you're fooling yourself. You're going to struggle to get them to take that action, right? So the key is the positioning needs to lead to the action. So, all right, that's it for me on this video. I will see you on the next video where we'll start to dive into creating your value proposition, and we'll get to kind of putting this whole thing together, okay? All right, bye for now.